So, Chana, about this one.
I think in my understanding, sir,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in order, generally, in order for any research to come out with a great and standardized
Mm-hmm.
outcome, every time the research was done, it needs to have a certain conceptual framework. Like in this energy justice punya case, there is actually there is eight. That was proposed by Solver Cool, but and then he add another two, resistance and intersectionality. So that is generally that I understand about this article.
Okay, but other than that, uh, other than energy law, right? So, conceptual framework is what? First, we look at the definition of conceptual framework. I thank you, Laili, because we are talking about energy, and so you go straight to the document. For everyone else, we're looking at this document that I have already given to you. And for your information, energy policy is very dia tier one, memang high class punya artikel lah. Yeah, high class punya what they call it journal. Yeah? So coming back about this what they call it conceptual framework.
So
Mm-hmm.
in my understanding, like
Mm-hmm.
conceptual framework to basically it's like a framework for a concept. So it's actually macam like the objective and the fundamentals tu dia macam how they relate to each other and
Mm-hmm.
how apa tu like the how what we expect to find through our research. And the framework tu will define lah apa variables that we used in our studies, and basically it just maps out the relation with each other in that concept. So it's like a conceptual framework. That's what I understand lah, sir.
Mm-hmm. Can someone simplify things? Make it very simple. Macam mana lah saya tak boleh masuk lah.
So
Uh-uh.
I think conceptual framework is, for me, I think the simple term is the
Mm-mm.
visualization of an idea. So
Very good.
you can see whole things, the details, the
Uh-huh.
flows, and even the simplest things such as a word, it can be
Mm-hmm.
visualized with conceptual
Uh,
framework.
okay, good. Siapa tu? Who's that?
Helmi.
Oh, Helmi. Very good. That everyone else about what Hamid just said just now. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good, eh? Okay. Kalau kita tengok ni dia macam ni lah. Okay. Have you seen people buat what they call it check mata kan? Right? Kalau you tengok orang yang check mata, it is to make what they call it glasses, eh? So they have to wear this. There would be more than this. In order for you to see the world, right? Clearly, yeah. In order for you to see any perspective or any subject, right? You have to have clarity. So in order to get that clarity, you have to have the tools, the proper tools. And that proper tools is the mechanism that we use in order for us to get clarity. Macam kita pergi ke kedai optical, in order for us to get that clarity, we ask that person to use their tools in order for them to fine tune which glasses, which thickness can allow you to see things clearly. So that is with representation of conceptual framework. So in order for for you to see things, this would be the conceptual framework. Okay, conceptual framework is something that you utilize in order for you to see things more clearly. And this picture represent the nature of concept, the idea that we have. That there might be more than three. In order for us to get the center, which is the one that we wanted, okay, this white area is the one that we wanted to have, because if we were to only use the green, then we will be only able to see the green color. But if we were to use the blue, obviously only the blue. So we utilize all perspective in order for us to get clarity, and that clarity is the white area. Okay, so that is what conceptual framework is. Any question?
No,
So
sir.
far,
Faham.
okay.
Aman? Okay, good. Kalau you dah faham, if you look at the article, so let's go on to the article. Nanti yang apa ni? I did some amendment to the document untuk yang ni lah. Yeah. Conceptual framework ni nanti I pass over to you. I'm having problem nak masuk. There's so many password. I dapat ni lah. Okay, if you were to look at the document, this document, so energy justice research, in order for you to look at energy, right, in order for you to get clarity over the subject matter of energy, and the focus of energy, we are not learning energy from the scientific way. We are learning energy in terms of the law. If you are talking about the law, law is supposed to produce justice, betul tak? Okay, so here the subject matter is being brought by those people from business, technology department, coming from UK, Denmark, science policy research, and then Department of Natural Resource Science. So they are non-law. Okay, they are non-law. However, the subject matter that they are bringing in is not about the law. The law is very focused. Okay, the law is very focused. However, in order for us to understand the law, we have to look at the concept of the bigger one, which is justice. So here we are looking at energy justice. Energy justice is very broad, very general, right? For us, what we understand for the time being, what we have learned so far is all about law, right? So if you went to jurisprudence, you talk about justice, betul tak? Because it is a subject matter which is more broader in nature. So we don't learn about, say for example, kita pergi ke tort, kita belajar tort, kita pergi ke criminal law, we learn about penal code and things like that. So energy justice is a very broad concept, where if you were to look back to what I just showed you, this picture, right? So in order for us to understand the white area, because within the white area, kita akan nampak the law. Okay, we formulate the law in order for the law to represent the white area. If the law is representing the green area, then we miss something, right? Because if the law represent only the yellow color, then yellow color area, then the focus is not there. It must be very, very precise. In order for us to get that preciseness of the law, we have to really put up all perspective of concept in order for us to discuss. Only then we will be able to understand the reality of the law, which is energy justice lah. Kalau kita in this position that they are bringing is about the energy justice. So they came up with the 6 area that you need to do research to, in order for you to really understand about the law. So we, the people who learn the law, we have to go above or beyond that, beyond the law that we are learning. So kita tak terus jump to energy law, we go to the act, we go to the statute, we go to the provision, rules, regulation. We don't do that because that is future topics or chapters. So what we have to equip ourselves is the broader understanding of energy law, okay, before we enter into energy law in the first place. So they presented the 5 method for 5 area. Macam kalau kita look at the circle, ada 5 lah. Okay, the 5 area. So can you tell me about the 5 area? Sorry, somebody wanted to come in. Okay, can we start? Anyone? Remember, kita dalam kelas, I welcome any kind of input that you want to give with respect to the 5 areas or any material that we are discussing. Untuk introduction, what do you think about the introduction? Any comment? Anyone can comment on it? Don't be shy.
Sir,
Yeah, please.
bagi tahu yang lima tu ke konsep energy justice?
Oh, before we the introduction. Before we do come up with a proposal, we have to give the background. You have done research, kan? Before you go to the problem, we first introduce the problem itself. The background of the problem. We don't go to the problem. We try to introduce the overall picture. So in other words, the background. So introduction here is about a background of something. Can you mention what would be the background of the subject that we are learning ataupun from this article? Apa you faham tentang introduction ni? What they are trying to introduce?
Saya try lah, sir.
Try. Jangan takut. Kita belajar. There is no harm in making mistakes. Kita ni orang Melayu ni kita tak diberanikan untuk buat mistakes. So we have to change our mindset. Kita kena change our conceptual framework. Okay, good. Go on.
Okay, kita dekat dia cakap kat sini some serious environmental and social burden result from having too much energy, which is from waste, overconsumption and pollution. And then others, however, result from not having enough energy, which is from lack of access to modern forms of energy services, underconsumption and poverty.
We are talking about first paragraph, first portion 1 ataupun the belah sini kan. Which line you are talking about?
Oh, I jump straight to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Line number 6.
1, 2, 4, 6. Wilkinson. Wilkinson, some serious environmental and social burden.
Yes.
Okay. So you were saying there is some disparity, kan? Is that you are trying to say ada masalah di sini ya, di mana dia kata the burden, the keyword here is the burden for the society to handle, which is with regards to waste, overconsumption dengan pollution. Video-video sebelum ni kan kita ada overconsumption, we are talking about pollution and then wastage, and then wastage in terms of orang tak pakai, wastage, over usage, and you tengok kan rumah-rumah dekat Malaysia ni kadang-kadang kalau dah kaya sangat, what they did was to buka lampu, kind of fear that people might rompak, things like that. So laman dia orang cerah macam macam siang hari. So it's considered as wastage. Though they are able to afford using the energy, but it will result to environmental and social burden, because as energy is being demanded, obviously it will increase in terms of the cost, because there is a greater demand to supply. So if the developer, ataupun bukan developer, the provider of energy have to increase the demand, supply, in order to meet the demand, obviously they will increase the cost, in terms of the charges, harga tak akan maintain dengan harga yang lama, harga akan naik. Have you seen the rate of electricity has been increased, on the increase? Tak pernah electricity bill, electricity charges, tariff goes down. Okay, those are the effect. Okay, if you were to look at the current way of doing things, this result is obvious. Okay, wastage, overconsumption, pollution. If we have good law, then those things should not happen. Why are the things still happening? That is the introduction. That one of the thing that they are stating. Cause of climate change, dia kata kat sini. Anyone? Cause of climate change. Apa dia nak cakap kat sini? You boleh nampak my screen? Should I go bigger? Terlampau besar sangat ke sini? Cause of climate change. Boleh somebody bagi input? Allah, pula tak boleh masuk lah.
I think for the cause of climate change is because the disparity or the disproportionately use of energy is much more likely to be used by the rich or to be used by someone that's powerful like corporation. So in order for them to produce something, they always overuse the energy to the point that it affects everyone. For example, if I'm not mistaken, in Russia, there's too much usage of the energy that cause environmental pollution to the point that there are no trees surrounding that area. So apparently the usage of the energy by all these riches or all the corporation are affecting people, especially towards the least developed countries where they're not developed in terms of energy and they are not using that energy well yet, but then the others are affecting it. So
Very
that's
good.
my point of view.
Very good. Dia macam kita tengok England kan. England used to have full of forest, but because of the industrialization during the 1890s, 1880s, when they started to have energy production, consumption of consumer product. So they need energy. So they need coal. They need what do you call it? They need arang. So in order to do that, they cut off their trees. So we rarely see UK nowadays. Maybe they are heading towards that, nak increase the number of trees. But they were victims of that situation. Sama macam about Russia. Yeah, it's a good insight, because the thing is, the rich country is what do you call it? They are utilizing their position as a developed nation, so they reap all the benefit, but the poor people or poor nations are not getting what they are supposed to get. Okay, very good. Other than that, any input from anyone else?
answer.
Yes.
Perhaps we could extend that the change, the shift from non-renewable energy to sustainable energy in the rich countries has at least cost the least developed countries in terms of the resources taken and the mining. Since when we are transitioning, we are making new technologies, and that requires all of these dirty works to be done that can contaminate the earth. So in context, the most developed countries, they are going towards sustainable energy, are actually benefiting from it with less pollution and stuff. But it is at the cost of these developed countries where the production is made, where the raw materials is coming from.
Yeah, good. Example? Ada example that you can share?
I think, for example, maybe solar panels, they
Very
are
good.
created in South Korea and China
Very good.
and exported to European countries.
Because they created the equipments that will be able to use for the energy production, energy conversion. Betul tak? Kan? So, say for example, solar panel, we have rare earth, rare earth punya material to be used in solar panel. So they are being produced, and the impact of environment is so great. So everyone pernah tengok dekat Malaysia ada tak? I did mention that. Kat mana? Malaysia dekat rare earth Malaysia. Linus, how do you Linus? Linus, how do you pronounce this?
Linus.
Linus. And then if you buat search, and then you will see the issue, with regards to rare earth punya situation. Okay, good. So coming back, that is the introduction of the area of discussion. Before we go into the 5 areas and coming out with the 10 principle that they are proposing, right? They are proposing the 10 principle that we are to look into, but from the inside. So maksudnya kalau kita tengok the document itself, the area, the circles, that would be 5, and then the white area you have 10. The 10 principle that you have to maintain in order for you to look at the new ataupun look at any laws. So if you were to look at any laws, there would be that 10 element, which is kalau kita tengok kat sini, the 10 principle would be introduced towards the end. Where was it? Ni okay. So availability, affordability, due process, transparency, sustainability, integration equity, integrational equity ni ada 2, okay. Then responsibility, resistant, intersectionality. So the explanation of that and the discussion over those things being made by them. Now, before we go to the 10, what we need to do is to look at the 5 first. Okay, the 5 circle. So if you look at the first circle of the 5 up there, making sense of the involvement of non-Western justice theories. Apa yang you faham on the first one? Yeah, I've been formula nak masuk attendance you. Yeah, anyone? What do you understand about the first one? I need to put to screen. Am I talking to myself? Guys, are you still here? Can Ainan I saw Ainan punya speaker buka. Ainan, can you give some input? Macam mana? The first item of the article. Anyone?
I think generally sir, dia macam nak cakap we need to understand the energy justice theory, but in from many views and from many non-Western views. Like in the article, they refer to Taoism, Confucius.
I pun pronounce tak betul. Confusion.
They
I pun
look at
confused. Yes.
various view on the concept of energy justice.
Very good. So, why they are introducing non-Western theories? Why? Tadi dia orang bagi macam, right, we have to look from the non-Western punya perspective. If you are talking about jurisprudence, right? Jurisprudence is not only from the Western world. Kenapa? Why they are introducing the number one? Kenapa kita kena pakai the first circle? The first circle.
I think because like usually in Western countries, their development of energy law is quite advanced, and people who is underdeveloped or developing countries are involving non-Western countries. So if you only impose Western countries jurisprudence, so it might not fit with the society of of non-Western countries. So by having non-Western theories, it will persuade them to why energy law is actually important. I think that's my view.
Very good, very good. Others? What would be your good? Siapa? You introduce. I tak tengok screen, so you have to introduce us.
Helmi, sir.
Helmi. Okay, good.
I think because it's just my opinion lah kan. We introduce non-Western value because Western value are oftentimes centered on an individualistic and centered around getting profits from something. So if we base on those kind of thing, it will be hard to achieve sustainability and as a whole community itself. But if you borrow or gain inspiration from the Eastern value itself, which have community value and a greater good sense, so it might help in certain degree. That's for my opinion.
Okay, good. Others? Ada yang baca ke ada yang tak baca? Yang baca tu faham tak faham lain cerita, kita discuss je, lantak lah. This is where we make mistakes. You don't have to be right, this is your opinion of that article that you have read. Aduh, give me 1 minute, I nak pergi cari my buku password. 1 minute.
Alright, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I'm back. Dah tua ni terpaksa tengok buku password. There's so many password. Okay, sure. Anyone?
So may I add another point?
Please, by all means. Kita kat sini kita discuss je. Okay, good.
I think the issue of energy justice does not only affect people from the Western, but also people from the non-Western world. So I think it is important in order for them to really fight for this energy justice, they need to understand how it works from their own religion's view.
Okay, good. Very good. Yeah, true, betul. Lagi? Another perspective? Tadi siapa nama you don't introduce us. Siapa?
Laili.
Laili, very good. Thank you. Lagi? Other than tadi kita dah ada 3 perspektif, kan? Yes, please. Anyone? Kalau from the article tu, kalau you tengok macam mana? Apa yang the article mention? How about this one? Energy as this concept have a strong anthropocentric. Apa dia anthropocentric? What is anthropocentric?
Human-centered, sir.
Human-centered. What do you mean by human-centered? Kan sini ada, I gather this from the internet. Dah boleh masuk. Oh, that's good. Ni dia. Ni. Boleh nampak ni? Anthropocentric, meaning we look at the human beings alone. It's about our survival. We don't care about anything else, nothing else matters. But we have to look at the bigger scope. If we were to look at the bigger scope, there are many other areas that we have to look into in order for us to have a holistic nature of law. If we were to utilize the current law that we apply does not solve the problem. Whatever laws in any countries that we are talking about, we have not been able to solve the problem. The problem is balik kepada introduction tadi, bias or the rich country is abusing, non-rich are the victim, pollution, environment, all those things are happening because whatever we have applied so far did not produce a good result. Why it is not producing a good result? Because the theories that we apply, the jurisprudence that we apply is Western inclined. So it is more towards Western. So how can you say that, okay, we have solved our problem, based on the jurisprudential perspective that we applied? No, because all the jurisprudential application that we have made so far, which is coming from the Western world, have failed. So what this paper is trying to propose is for us to use another lens, which is actually existing throughout the world. Why can't we use this perspective also in addition to the Western jurisprudential that they have already applied? Nampak tak dia kata kat sini, Western theories and anthropocentric concept have tended to dominate the discourse on jurisprudence. So kalau kita tengok subjek jurisprudence, okay, subjek jurisprudence, mana yang kita belajar benda lain kecuali Islamic, right? How about Buddhism? How about Taoism? How about Japanese? How about Indian? How about Christianity? How about Israel? The Jews? If you look at that, I think I have proposed the amendment to be made. Mana law and philosophy. But okay, whatever it is, we are hoping that you guys are able to learn something of a nature in terms of bigger than that. Kita ni very focused. We don't learn about any other things other than the one that is being introduced by the Western world. Because our study of jurisprudence is basically about what people has done. And what people has done, they have not given us a solution, because problem of the society still persists, especially if you are looking at energy issues. Energy issues are still continuing, still in existence, and therefore we need to have a bigger perspective. Yeah. So Indian philosophy, Chinese philosophy, and then Japanese philosophy, Islamic philosophy. Obviously, we have to go into detail. Jewish, Christian, uh, areas that we have to look into. Yeah, which is actually the proposal of this paper. Okay, the first to strengthen. Yeah, so to strengthen energy justice theory, what you need to do is to propose a broader what do you call it, a broader perspective of jurisprudence, which is coming from non-Western world, kan? So dia letak kat sini siapa? South Africa, which is something new for me. I have no idea. The non-Western theories coming from Africa, right? It's a new because knowledge is everywhere in terms of understanding over justice. Yeah, justice is something that is very broad all over the world, but we only concentrate on the Western world. Even the Western world, they are fighting with one another. You know that when you learn jurisprudence, right? So you guys buat jurisprudence one tahan. So now you are heading into jurisprudence two. Betul?
Betul
Betul.
kan?
Betul, sir. So you akan nampak because that subject of jurisprudence ni orang kebanyakannya dia orang tak nampak the significance of jurisprudence. Now in this paper they are trying to introduce not only the Western world but the non-Western world punya jurisprudence. Yeah, for example the African, the Confucianism, Taoism, you know, lagi apa lagi yang dia introduce?
Hindu.
Hindu, yeah, Hinduism, Dharma. So these words are new to us, right? Because we were never being exposed. Because when we learn law, we just concentrate on the existing law that we have. Only in the subject of jurisprudence, then we open up. We try to explore. But when we do the exploration, it's very focused towards the Western world. If we were to focus alone on Western world, the answers that we get from the Western jurisprudence is not able to have a complete answer to the legal problem that we have. So yeah, we still have to learn. Doesn't mean that we cannot learn. We have to learn because those jurisprudential perspectives are the laws that we apply today. Okay, kita belajar ibu kepada apa undang-undang yang kita ada. Kita tengok anak dia. Kita kena tengok ibu dia datang daripada mana. Why we have to understand the ibu. So we have to understand the jurisprudential. But the jurisprudential perspective is only on the Western world. So that is why they are trying to introduce the non-Western, which is Hinduism. Okay, beyond human laws, something that is greater. Kalau you tengok Plato, Socrates, they are talking about greater things, but you start with your individual issues, individuals punya change. Once the individual change, the whole world will change. That every individual in the society, if they were to realize the importance of looking in a proper direction to understand the concept of the law, right, that we have, concept of justice, every individual they themselves concertedly ataupun in a concerted manner, they will change the society. Okay? The society will only change if the individuals change themselves. So kalau you tengok teaching of religion is basically is not about the society. It is basically about individual. Islam is about individual. It's a private law. I don't know whether you are in my class or not for jurisprudence. If you're looking about Islamic jurisprudence concentrate on the individual rather than the general population. Silap banyak lah kalau kita tengok Islam as a community. It is not about the community. The religion is about yourself, you alone, because your account with God is you and God. That's it. You are not accountable for other things other than yourself. If you are empowered to do something, you are a leader, then you are responsible for your account to do whatever you have to do under the power that is given to you in order for you to do your work. If you fail to do your work, then you are going to be answerable to God for your account, for your responsibility. Solat, is only meant for you. It is not for the society. It is not to be imposed like what Kerajaan Kelantan wants to do, is to impose people, to punish people, to do solat, berjemaah and things like that. It's wrong, because that is never the intention of the religion. So if you come back to this other religion, it is about self-discovery. It is about self-awareness. Okay, so kalau kita tengok beyond human laws, called Rata, and then we have enlightenment. Yeah, Buddhism is about the ultimate attain enlightenment, nirvana kita panggil. What is nirvana? You are self-conscious, so you know what you are supposed to do in life. So he went off from being a prince, which full of apa orang kata, luxury and apa orang kata, wealth. He left his wife, he left his parents, the king and the queen, and then he left his apa orang kata, son, and then he went off and becomes a pauper. Memang tak ada apa-apa. He is trying to find the true meaning of life. Okay, so eventually, upon nearing death, because dia orang banyakkannya pergi bertapa ni, tak makan and things like that. But he came up saying that, look, life is so simple. You have to discover the purpose of our, which is actually to do things that is going to benefit others. Yeah, so macam kita tengok the practice of Buddhism. Kenapa monk nak kena bawa bowl of rice ataupun bowl jalan, and then orang tepi-tepi jalan kena tunduk bagi makan kat dia orang? Is it not something that is ridiculous for people who are in religious punya practices go and beg for people for food? What do you think? What do you think of Buddhism in terms of the Buddhist monk that have to go out and get food? Perasan kan? Perasan tak? Tak perasan?
Perasan, sir.
Okay. Kenapa kena buat benda tu?
Bukan yang diorang bagi makan tu macam a form of blessing kan, sir?
Offer blessing. Tapi kenapa kena buat in that manner of offer blessing?
Tak sure lah, sir.
Macam orang fikir kita apa? What that got to do with achieving nirvana? Because it is a practice yang kita buat untuk kita subdue our inner evil that we have in our self. Okay, what is the inner evil? It's trying to make us humble. Okay, make us humble. So for those people yang bagi makanan, they are going to be humble in giving food to others, especially to those people who are teaching goodness in life. So because this Buddhist monk, ada Buddhist monk find peace too. Yes, yeah. If you give, you will find peaceness. Betul lah ayat. The peace that you are going to achieve is whenever you are able to give to people. You realize the moment that you give something to people out of nothing, you don't have any agendas. You give something to people, then you feel happy sangat, especially for the needy people. So you know that person need that particular contribution. So you give money, and then you feel happy, especially when the gratitude of that person is to say thank you so much for giving. You say, oh, bestnya. That is what Plato said. So you try to seduce others in order for you to get happiness from the things that you do. Nampak? So Buddhism is about the humility of the monk. The monk, they need to concentrate and give of enlightenment in order for them to do that. they will make it a test for people whether they are humble enough to give the food to them. Sama dengan kita pun, Allah is testing us whether you are able to humble yourself towards Him, you know, by forcing us to pray 5 times a day. So if you don't pray, meaning you are arrogant. You don't care about the instruction of God who created you. And for that matter, some don't believe in God. Okay, whatever religion that you are in, you have to have some kind of uh, things that you have to do in order for you to be able to humble yourself. Okay, sama dengan Christianity, Judaism, you know, Hinduism, semua religion is asking us or promoting the art of how to humble yourself. Sama dengan kita puasa, kan ni puasa esok lusa, puasa, esok lusa. So the art of puasa is not something to be forced on everyone. You know, they can make fun by taking you bila you makan and then tangkap you pergi try to humiliate you, naik kereta, tunjuk kat satu bandar, you know, trying to do things to make you change. But yeah, they cannot force you to puasa because the test is individual. The test is about you being able to be humble yourself, to humble yourself to pray from from sahur sampai maghrib. So is the teaching of Islam, if you look at other religions, the same thing, that the focus is to be able to get the society to realize about the importance of discovery. Yeah. So kalau kita tengok Dharma, you know, kalau you baca yang ni, okay, put the facts of a case first and through legal rules are set forth and respected. So you have to look at the truth in order for you to look at the legal rules. If you look at legal rules, you will be missing about the finding the truth. Okay, finding the truth is more important than the law. Kenapa kita nak tengok the law? You don't question me. Kalau you pakai positivist, you don't question me. These are the laws that we have already thought about. These are the things that you want to do. However, if the law that we look in that perspective memang bias because the outcome is still problematic. Masih ada problem sampai sekarang. So, what we are applying is ada flaws. So, banyaklah dia bagi sini apa, they compare John Rawls punya veil of ignorance. Remember John Rawls, guys?
Yes.
Apa yang John Rawls kata yang we can apply in our situation in Malaysia right now? Veil of ignorance. You tak pernah rasa pun kepayahan hidup sebab you are being born in the family that you are born right now. Okay, kalau you orang kaya, you akan kata nasib lah. Orang miskin, kau punya ujian lah. That is your part. I don't have to worry about that because I'm rich. You know, sama dengan rich country will say, no problem. We went through that. You know, 200 years ago, we went through that suffering, and then you have to do your own suffering. You have to pollute your environment if you want to, you know, in order for you to progress. So the veil of ignorance is something of a selfishness of society, of nations, to say that they were born in that situation, they have went through all the process, and therefore they have to maintain their understanding. That is not fair. That is not equal. Equality and fairness is about you realizing that the position that you are in as compared to others. So kalau kita in Malaysia, we start to realize the unfairness in terms of the society makeup that we have. Okay, we have the 1957, we saw that, and then we saw that the Malays are so backward. The Chinese also have already advanced. So does the Indian, some of the portion of the Indian. So we wanted to put in the Article 153 in order for us to protect the Malay rights. In order for us to dasar ekonomi baru after the 1969 riot, for us to be able to change our perspective, to change the social makeup or economic makeup. Yeah. So once we are able to achieve that, then the society would struggle together in a more fair manner. Kan? So that is, kalau kita ambil Mahatma Gandhi, dia kata trying to find the eternal truth. Okay. Knowing that Mahatma Gandhi is a lawyer, right? By profession, he is a lawyer. Obviously, as already mentioned, leaders are basically supposed to have legal knowledge in order for us to be good leaders. Why? Because we learn jurisprudence. Why? Because we learn philosophy. In order for us to look at the law, we have to understand why the law has to be there. So here, the fact that he promote the non-violence punya approach, if you cannot fight big bodies or an empire by virtue of force, obviously you are going to fail. Either kalau you buat open warfare, kalau you baca Art of War, you cannot engage in an open warfare with empires. And what you need to do is utilize guerrilla war. So that is what Ho Chi Minh in Vietnam applied that approach, guerrilla war, which America lost. They ran away from Vietnam because they lost. Because a big empire like them cannot win when it comes to things that is being done towards them by virtue of different approach. So India received their independence because of the non-violence movement that has been promoted by Mahatma Gandhi. Okay? Eventually, they went to war. Yeah, but the pressure is being made towards the British Empire towards giving independence. Okay, so ada summary of this, summary of the Ubuntu, Taoism, Confucianism, Hinduism, Dharma, Buddhism, and indigenous perspective of the Americas. Kalau you tengok orang Amerika, Native America, the Indians, what is their approach to life? Kalau you tengok movie, tengok dia punya, kalau I like to go and tengok movie and things like that. Dulu, especially the Western world, the Indians, the Red Indians, what can you say about them? Cuma kita tengok the current orang asli kita, ada similarity dekat situ. What can you learn from that? Macam mana? Siapa?
Fakira, sir.
Yeah, okay, good.
I think they are appreciating nature more than us.
Tak buka speaker. Sorry, tak buka speaker. It is about appreciating the nature more. Okay. And how do they do that? Can you give example of how Red Indians appreciate the nature?
So far, what I see is everything that they do, they will do something that relates to nature, like living there, finding sources of food there. In fact, Malaysian indigenous, they refuse to come up from the forest, I think.
Yeah, okay. Macam mana? How do they do? How do they live differently from us?
Sir,
Yeah, siapa tu? Syahidah. Good.
I think they don't bother themselves to involve with technology.
Very good. And why?
Because for some reason they think it would harm the nature
Very
and
good. Very good.
yeah, the habitat of the animals And yeah.
How do they respect the habitat or apa, the environment? Macam mana tu? By not engaging in technology, yeah, okay. They knew the side impact of effects of technology. But kalau makanan macam mana? You look at Red Indians. How do they kill their their meals? With full respect, kata. Yes, help me.
What I think is that they take what they need. They doesn't take in excessive.
Very good.
So they respect nature in certain sense, but it's a give and take. They take only what they need and they give what nature needed.
You mentioned about Helmi respect. How do these indigenous people respect the animals that they take? Obviously dia tak bunuh lah. I mean saja-saja bunuh, you know. Lagi?
And the differences between well-developed tribe or well-developed communities that they tend to take all what they can and try to just what do you call it, just to exploit it so that they doesn't need to do it again, but that destroy the sustainability. But what then the indigenous people understand is that if we take too much from nature, the nature wouldn't have any chance to grow back. So instead, they only pick and choose what they need. They doesn't have to pick so excessively and to store things that may ruin nature in certain sense. That's my opinion.
Very good. Kalau you tengok movie Noah, right? Noah, there's two group of people in the world. One is evil, the other one is Nabi Noah. You nampak tak the scene in the video about him taking food? He did not kill animals, but they only vegetarians, you know. I think that I have no idea. My theory is that people back then they can live for 1,000 years because they are vegetarian in nature, you know. And ada satu scene yang anak dia ambil lebih daripada yang sepatutnya, and then he says, no, you are not supposed to do that. You only take what is needed. Other than that, you don't destroy the environment just because you have the abundance. Abundance doesn't give us the right for us to collect everything just because it is there. And once we have that abundance, kita ada masalah pula. Nak kena keringkan, nak kena ada peti ais, nak kena simpan, and then barang yang dalam peti ais rosak because kita tak pakai. Why? Because the greed in us, you know, it's there, so utilize it. But those Indians or the native people, they are so respectful of the environment, of the nature. When kalau you tengok tu lagi satu movie tu, apa dia tu yang science yang dia pergi ke movie yang pergi ke entire new world, yang dia pergi attack the tree, apa nama dia yang muka alien tu, and then naik can you share with me? I can't remember the movie, the science movie that that guy represents. Ada something, said something. Bukan, lagi satu yang perempuan tu dia belajar macam mana nak get along into the by Allahu Akbar. Lupa nama. Yang muka dia warna hijau tu. Hijau ke biru?
Is it Avatar, sir?
Avatar. You look at Avatar. Bila laki that hero kills an animal, what she did was she went to the animal and cakap something, right? Why she has to do that? Because she is respecting, the animals, even though it is their right. Kalau kita tengok what I mentioned to you just now about this, right? Kalau you anthropocentric, anthropocentric, then you don't care about anything else. They are there to exist for our utilization. If you do respect other people, then other existence, then you tend to be more humble towards them. So itu yang dia dalam artikel tu mention about killing animals, not respecting animals. Macam kita, kalau kita nak korban nanti, we don't allow in a situation whereby lembu yang nak dikorbankan tengok lembu yang tengah dikorbankan. I saw when I went to Thailand, my ex-wife punya family kan, her house is next to the masjid. They obviously dekat Hatnyai dia orang tak ada tempat, there is no place for them to do the korban. What they did was dia orang aturkan lembu-lembu dalam pekarangan masjid dia orang, which is right in town, right? What they still need to do the korban there in order for them to do the process of potong-potong. What angers me when I'm looking at that situation, because rasa macam nak marah aja, tapi who am I? I'm an outsider kan. That is their culture. But they are slaughtering the animals yang seekor lembu ni depan yang lain. I mean, such a cruelty. Yang lembu yang duk tengok kawan dia orang ni kena slaughter, mata dia, I can still see that lembu-lembu tu punya mata terbeliak tau. I mean, come on man. If you were to do something that is good according to what your religion is asking, please do it in an honor punya manner, to respect the animals. Why? Kalau you tengok some quarters, kalau you tengok the articles that you're reading, the introduction of here, Peter Singer, Peter Singer and the group. Peter Singer is saying that the quality of the fairness with respect to animals. Kadang-kadang kita tengok animals, let me check whether I still have it. Kadang-kadang I dah tutup lah. Ni kita ambil Peter Singer. Okay, he is promoting what? Promoting in terms of animal liberation. So kalau animal liberation that he is talking about is to respect the animals. Okay, so what that got to do with our article ni, right? So climate change is the ability to respect other people or other entities that are going to be affected, the animals. And we cannot have that if we were not to be able to respect other situations or other existence, in terms of the animals, lagi satu is promotion of speciesism. Speciesism is whereby you give different treatment to different category. For the dogs, you care for the dogs. You don't eat the dogs. You give food to the dog and you care for them. But when it comes to cattle, they are also animals. Why you are giving them different treatment? Tagging lah, put them in an environment yang tak pernah nampak matahari. You get a food in terms of the milk, the meat. You don't kill dogs. Some Campuchians they kill dogs and cat in order for them to eat. Itu memang kita rasa macam macam mana. But we do have that in us. We compare and contrast. We just look at this species. Cattle memang untuk mati, untuk buat kerja. Tengok dekat when I went to India, oh my god, dia orang kalau you tengok movie pun sama, you tengok video about how they abuse animals over there. Ini in line with what Rasulullah said. Kalau you nak gunakan animals, you must make sure that you are not overburdening them. Otherwise, you are going to be answerable in akhirat. Why? Because you have abused your position. You don't care about the animals. Nampak tak? It goes beyond the position that you are supposed to maintain, which is actually, inilah, you just concentrate on yourself, anthropocentric. So you have to look at others in order for you to have a good nature of existence. So law, if you are talking about, mana law ni kita belajar ni? Law is about us to get a new perspective, which is not existing in the Western jurisprudence. Western jurisprudence ada yang cakap, but it has to be something that is bigger than that. Kalau kita tengok Plato, Jeremy Bentham, Immanuel Kant, semua dah kena belajar kan. Ni this semester you akan belajar Habermas, postmodernist punya ni, dia on the outcome of any outcome of the law has to be dynamic, and then you have John Rawls, you dah belajar dah, Robert Nozick, Ronald Dawkins, all these people are the major philosophical influence from the Western world. And on top of that, we have to look at the non-Western in order for us to understand. Okay, boleh So indigenous, we see how they respect the society in terms of respect the nature, and then how in detail about them respecting the nature. Okay, they will only take what they want. Really, bukan what they need, bukan what they want. They only take what they need, not what they want. Kalau kita ni, kita take what we want. Kita nak makan lagi sebulan, kita dah beli dah. Semua orang keluar shopping in order for you to to have all your foods ready in a month thing, which is like you are pressuring the environment just because of your needs towards something, which is like I mean, that is the nature that we are right now. We are in that situation. Okay, that is the first one. The second one, valuing the non-human world. Any input from you guys? Setengah boleh masuk ni. 10:30 dah. Sorry, baru nak sign in ni. Value. Any input, guys? So yang pertama, faham ke tak?
Faham.
Okay, and the second one? Second one macam mana? For this article, okay, sorry.
I think in summary, basically dia macam jangan macam saya cakap lah, kita tak perlu fikir pasal, kita jangan fikir pasal kita je, kita kena value the animals, the tumbuh-tumbuhan, the nature itself. Sebab valuing non-human world ni dia bahagi kepada dua, animal centered, lepas tu life centered, and then ecosystem. So basically dia not really focus on human punya world je, dia kita kena tengok other perspective, bigger scope.
Very good. Right, kita kena tengok scope which is something that we have to what do you call it? We have to bear in mind. Otherwise, kalau kita go on living and without caring all these other things, then obviously, then we will not get that outcome. Okay, attendance baru buka. Can you go in and sign in while giving your opinion? So coming back to the article, animal rights, apa semua dia, biodiversity, life-centered. It is a new perspective that is being promoted. Okay, saving non-human world. So with all the theories that we are able to understand, it is focusing on the value, to value the non-human world. So what is the non-human world? So kita tengok banyak benda lah, ya, in terms of that. Okay, we note that concern with justice and non-human nature are not entirely absent from the literature of energy justice. Doesn't mean that it is not there. It is there. There are a situation whereby we are concerned about that. The idea of energy justice is rooted within the field of climate justice and environmental justice, each of which address matters of justice to non-human to a limited degree. Yeah, they only acknowledge that. What we have to understand is that whatever perspektif yang kita pegang is basically patah balik kepada kita. Untungnya kepada kita, bukan untung kepada non-human punya perspektif. Okay? Whatever we do, whatever law that we create, our focus is ourselves. We are very selfish in that manner. Whatever policy that we create, though it seems that macam nak protect the environment, though nak kononnya protect the climate, actually the focus is actually us rather than looking at what they call it, non-human world. Kalau you tengok mana-mana undang-undang is actually focusing on us. Dia tak ada emphasis equality. Kalau ada lah, memang ada. Not to say that katakan energy justice in terms of world movement towards climate change, you know, the climate justice, environmental justice. It is about the environment. You can say, ada apa? Ya, tapi environment justice tu untuk siapa? Untuk kita punya human existence, which is biased. So this is what the paper is proposing. Yeah? So we have to change our perspective. So dia suruh minta tengok Tom Regan and Peter Singer punya example of how we to look at animals' rights, yeah, in terms of animal rights masuk kepada balik kepada climate justice dengan environmental justice. For example, this is my insight lah. Kalau I diberi kuasa lah, I diberi kuasa untuk ubah dunia, I akan first among the first thing that I akan buat ialah haramkan semua ataupun haramkan semua zoo, yeah, to be in existence. Tutup semua zoo. Dalam dunia ni we have to close down all the zoos. Because kalau you tengok zoos, for those people yang pernah pergi zoos, Allah, kesian dekat animal, ya. And then make it illegal for those people nak bela burung dalam sangkar, you know, because that is abuse, ya, in terms of kita bela burung tu letak dalam sangkar untuk siapa? Untuk kita, bukan hanya untuk menjaga burung ni daripada kena bunuh atau no. We are selfish people to the extent that we do things because of the benefit that it will bring to us. Okay. So macam yang saya kata tadi lah, kalau zoo bukan untuk kepentingan animals tu. Zoo adalah untuk kepentingan kita. We are so selfish that we are taking them from the wild, put it in a cage and don't allow them to be in the environment that they should be. Why the issue of I kena pergi tengok live benda tu? No, we have YouTubes in order for us to learn so many things about animals. We don't have to go and see them personally, because by seeing them personally, you are taking the energy of the environment, you know. Kan kalau nak kena bela, nak kena jaga, nak kena pergi cultivate, nak kena ensure economy that is able to provide food. You pernah pergi zoo negara, you tengok macam mana harimau dia, Allah kesian, rasa macam nak nangis, because dia dengan space yang ada, ya, dia duduk jalan sana, jalan sini, jalan sana, jalan sini. You know, I mean, they are in stressful position. How cruel are we towards animals? And we say that, oh, itu animals right. No, it has to do everything with the climate punya situation, energy punya situation. Energy kita buat sampai fikir ke animal ke? Yes, we have to look in that perspective. Selama ni kita tengok cuma energy je. Energy ada kena mengenai dengan climate, ada kena dengan environment, di mana environment tu siapa yang benefit? Kita. Climate, kita. Semuanya kita. How selfish are we? So we have to look at perspective that is non-human in order for us to realize that they exist because of us. If we go along the line to destroy them or to in any way that if impact them, eventually we are going to suffer. Dia nampak tak dia kata life-centered, biocentric theories of justice, ethos of Darwinism. Okay, kita in Islam we go against Darwin because of the evolution punya theory. However, dalam Al-Quran dia kata all life comes from water. You know, all life coming from water, but with exception to Adam and Eve. You know, so that is an issue. He being a Christian, he doesn't believe in Christianity anymore because he is a scientist and he was so frustrated because anak dia mati, and he blamed, I don't know whether he blamed God or not. But the thing is, it is something that we have to face in our reality. Darwin theory is talking about apa? Okay, is about the unity and continuity of things that we have in our in our environment, that we have to be in a position that we relate to one another. Okay, living beings shape over time through interaction of the natural world. So kalau kita nampak, kita pakai Darwin, then we will see, oh, yalah, kalau Darwin cakap macam ni, evolution takes place when the condition of the environment is to be conducive for them to evolve, then energy law should reflect their activities that is promoting that. Tapi tak ada pula yang kita kata dalam energy justice yang kita tengok sekarang, energy law that we have is concerning about just Darwinism. So we are supposed to look into those, you know, these are example that was promoted dalam artikel ni to make us open our eyes that we are to look at things broader in nature. Only then, by doing that, then you start to you see things more clearly, and you will be able to formulate energy policies that will produce energy law that is more fruitful, more the ability to produce good result as compared to the current one. Okay, animal-centered theories of justice, you know. Banyak kat sini dia kata ecosystem-centered, you know. So kita kena tengok lah how the whole ecosystem works. So we cannot just simply look at the don't cut the trees because the trees are our source of biodiversity in terms of carbon, negative carbon punya calculation. We all concerned about carbon. Carbon tu kita concerned about CO2 emission. Carbon, CO2 emission, and it will impact our life. A very selfish punya approach. We have to look at a holistic. Holistic maksudnya kalau kita tengok yang tadi ni, it has to be holistic. Holism. Okay, if you were to apply the bigger circle, then you cover anthropocentric. You don't have to worry about saving our life. It comes naturally if you go along the line that you look in total, inanimate things, supra-organism, whole. You have to look at wholesome nature. With that, I have this person, can't remember. He is proposing that we approach climate change in a way that is, I will share the video later with you, that he is trying to promote a new perspective of looking into how to remove desert punya environment. So how to green the desert. In order for us to green the desert, we have to be from the perspective of Alan ni I if you can, you look at this TED punya holistic management, how to change the world by using animals, how to change the energy punya impact, in the world by using this. I can share the link, nanti tengok dia ada 30 minit dia punya ni. Okay, any input? This paper bagus ke tak? Did the paper produce some kind of new insight?
Yes, sir.
Kan nampak dia baguslah dia orang ni. It's a new perspective. From approach, kita ni dekat yang belajar law, kita bukan setakat belajar law saja. Tak nak belajar law itself tak ada hasil yang positif yang kita boleh belajar. Masalah masih macam tu. So in order for us to learn something that is new, we have to change our perspective. Changing perspective ni, bila saya buat PhD research, saya punya research PhD tu, Allah, I realize that everyone knows about things that needs to be changed, but the kesombongan-ish agency of our government, our government agency refuse to share data. You know, polis tak nak share data dengan custom tak nak share dengan immigration tak nak share dengan Kementerian Dalam Negeri, Kementerian Dalam Negeri tak ada relationship dengan Prime Minister's Office, and then tak ada hubung kait dengan Environmental Department, tak ada hubung kait dengan kaji cuaca, tak ada dengan Marine punya agencies. Ya Allah, we have so many agencies, but yet as I already mentioned to you, yang Kelantan tu, Kelantan banjir, you know, we will have banjir every year without fail, because all the concerted effort of all people are not being gathered together. I don't know what is happening. Nothing is happening because banjir still ada, and the fact that we have all those bijak pandai, but still nobody is utilizing them. So coming back in terms of what we have, the what do you call it, the knowledge that we have is not being utilized. Okay, so sad. Okay, I think I have to end this session. Sorry lah to take your time, but this is a very interesting insight. I want those yang rasa macam Allah beratnya nak baca. Okay, it's not technical at all. It's just light reading lah. Kalau for those yang tak baca, I believe there are some yang masih belum baca. I need you to baca in order for us to continue the article. Ni cuma proposal. You guys have to remember, this is not a solution. We have to struggle in order for us to find the solution. The so-called our ability to have this conceptual framework, this is just a mere introduction, a mere insight. Yeah, they introduced the six area that we have to look into, but there might be others. You know, this is coming from only a research being done and presented in a journal article. Okay, it can be more than that. So we have to have some foundation. Therefore, we are looking at this article as the basis of our study, because this is something new, something that is something that we are not aware of. That is why I hope that for those yang masih tak baca, kita kena baca lah. Alright. Okay, I think I have to stop here for the time being. We will continue with the same article next week to continue with the rest of it. That is one. Before I forget, the tutorial petang ni, I want you to present the group, the research yang you nak buat tu. Sekarang ni kita kena start off. So the group according to the one yang kita dah form. Okay, dah submit dah you all punya assignment?
Belum, sir. I have one.
Ahad ni continuous assessment. Ada dah yang dah hantar ke? Assessment. Oh, I yang tak buka Cheers. Saya tak buka, macam mana you nak submit? Okay, remind me assignment punya, I have to create a new assignment in order for you to submit. Okay, questions. I give you another 5 minutes untuk question if you have any.
Sir, untuk tutor petang ni, the one yang assignment 3 research tu lah, sir?
Yes,
Or is it the second one? Okay.
Assignment 3, sebab you have to start off. Sebab kita tak ada masa kan? Kita tak ada exam, so therefore you have to submit before exam, right? So according to our plan, you have to get that. It's just an idea for you to present to me. This is the area that we think that we want to do, and share with me lah. Tengok macam mana approach yang you nak cari. Okay. Give me some basic studies that has been conducted in that particular area. Obviously, tak ada ilmu dalam dunia ni yang belum orang buat. You cannot say that. Setengah orang when I did my PhD, I said tak ada undang-undang. Terus my supervisor kata, you are bluffing me. There must be a law. You don't tell me that there is no law. Okay, so you have to give in a way that there are studies that has been conducted in this area. However, we want to concentrate on this particular area. Why? Because we think that we are going to contribute to the society by doing this research. Juliana, ada apa-apa? I saw you opening up. Nak tanya something tadi. Helmi pun I nampak tadi buka dia punya. Ainan pun I nampak juga tadi. Do you have any questions that you want to ask about the petang ni? Jangan risau. What you need to do is after this you may you ada group WhatsApp kan untuk discuss area. You can contact each other kalau you ada data. Recording I upload dalam YouTube and I give you the link. Any questions, guys? Before we end the session. Ainan, yes? Ainan?
Tak ada question, jelas.
Tak ada question. Elmi, ada? The rest of the guys?
No questions. Thank you.
No question, Okay. Shohail, Kutubi. Sorry lah, I'm more towards laki sikit because they are the minority. The orang kata the dying species. Alright, so thank you guys. See you petang ni, right? Have a good lunch. Assalamualaikum. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Selamat berpuasa, sir.
Oh, same to you guys. Alhamdulillah.